Well, good morning, everybody. So wonderful to see you all here. We are so happy to welcome you to Sunday morning at Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm Chris Tackett, I'm your music director, and I like to come out and say good morning to everybody. And I also like to remind you that no matter where you've been or what you've done this week, you're in exactly the right place now. So it's been an interesting week. It's been a very fun week. We've passed two holidays in two different traditions this week. One was Tu B'Shavat, also known as the New Year's for the trees, and also Imbolc from pagan traditions and Wiccan traditions. Both are the same basic holiday when you first notice that the sap is rising in the trees, when you notice that the days are getting longer and winter is well and truly on its way out. Maybe not in this climate so much, but it's still lovely to see. So happy, not quite spring, but getting towards the end of winter to you all.
Good morning, Mountain Vista. I just had the best chuckle with Reverend Matthew. It has started my day perfectly. I had a week that was a feeling of being under attack. And the attack was love. It was weird. It filled me up. It was a physical feeling that love was there for me, and that I'm supported by love, and this is what I need to turn to for everything, is that internal love and caring for myself. So I hope it's contagious. I want you all to just take a moment now and feel the love filling you up from your feet, flowing up through your legs, through everything, into your body, filling you, filling your head, filling your mind. Just feel what it feels like to know that pure love. Let's know that this is so. So, whether you are here in the sanctuary with us, watching on Zoom, or viewing this at another time altogether, good morning. I hope there is joy and love in your heart, and you are ready to reflect on this month's theme. The future is inclusion. I am Linda Logan, the pastoral associate assisting Reverend Matthew today with our service. Personally, I embrace this month's theme, not only because I heartily agree with the premise, but because it flies in the face of everything our current political administration is doing and saying. It is a peaceful, proactive resistance, and so I'm all in. I'm grateful that as a community we see the importance of this thought and of giving our time to make sure we are reimagining and deeply considering what inclusion means. As a member of a class of people not always included in the privileges of this country, I am happy to know that we are focusing and reimagining these ideals. As always, when I spend Sunday morning with you, I am grateful to be a part of this loving and peace-seeking community. And we can all offer thanks for this place that is the original home and unceded land of the Yaqui Tohono O'odham people. We respect and honor their commitment to this place we also call home. Today's service is led by our settled minister. Are you settled? This morning. Okay. Reverend Matthew Funkreri, and supported by our congregation staff, including Chris, our wonderful Chris, our musical director, and Stacy, our religious education coordinator. I am grateful for these colleagues who so lovingly support the work of the Mountain Vista congregation. A special welcome and thanks to our guest speaker, the board co-chair of WISE Zambia, Joanne Bollinger, who you'll hear from a little bit later. In addition, thank you to the many volunteers that contribute each week. Our AV crew today, back there, we can't do this without them, you know, headed by Lee, which includes Ann, Magnus, I don't know if he's up there now or not, and Bob on camera, Ann, and Robin. Joel Yelland, our song leader. Volunteers for greeting and hospitality. And let's go back to Joel. We love Joel because Joel provides all kinds of goodies back there. So we bow to Joel. Everyone who contributes their work and care to our congregation makes today's service possible. As we often say here in our church house, we are better and stronger together. As you know, we are joined this morning by participants on Zoom and later participants who will view the video of this service on their own timeline. So, Bob, if you can, let's get that camera moving and have everyone wave a greeting to those who are not here in the sanctuary with us this morning. Everybody gets their moment, huh? And now we are going to be lighting our chalice. As we reimagine the future being inclusion, I'd like to borrow the words of Rachel Myslivdy, climate justice strategist, as our chalice lighting. Reimagining asks us to imagine differently than we imagined yesterday, to imagine in all directions, unfettered, unhindered, unbound. As people of faith, we are forever called to reimagine, to center love and to let it guide our way, to believe that a better world is not only possible, but that we are creating it right now, every day, in large and small ways. We can reimagine a flourishing future and hold it in our hearts, not restricted, but reinforced, not for what I think can be done in my lifetime, but what will live on beyond me. We have everything we need in community, in faith, to realize a future where all communities flourish. Let's reimagine together a world with love at the center. Let's keep love alive. For our offerings today, Children's Action Alliance. Do I do that now?
I'll do that.
You do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can take that. I've got one.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but here. You can have one too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We are a generous people, and it comes because we are a grateful people. These bubbles are from a wedding that we had here yesterday. It was a couple outside of our congregation. He is Swedish, she is Mexican, and it was glorious. You can see some of their decorations still, this bow that they put up, and we will take that down eventually. But it just seems so great to share that and their bubbles. Their message on the side is, love is in the air. Love is in the air. We are grateful for so many things. And that does lead to our generosity. That's really what the formula is. And so each month we make an offering of thanks to an organization who is out in the world, in our community, even in our own lives, doing the work and living the values we wish to see alive. We use a woven basket, not unlike this one, or a collection. Now, the basket distinguishes itself from the wooden bowl. That's for your financial support for our congregation. But this is a symbol, then, for how we are woven into the world, how we are woven with these partner organizations. This month, our woven basket partner is the Children's Action Alliance. This is an Arizona-based nonprofit organization with a mission to be an independent voice here to identify and eliminate barriers to the well-being of children and their families, and to create opportunities through partnerships like with us, and then to create policy, to create real, lasting policy changes in Arizona. This last year, they were intensely focused on keeping the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, fully funded to fight food scarcity. They were invested in making sure that Medicaid was not drastically cut, all to help Arizona children and families. But of course, as we know, losing these programs, deeply woven into our community, they impact us all. And so the Children's Action Alliance has taken action across our state, through southern Arizona, and nationally, as we will show you throughout this last year. It's a whole lot. And that was just last year. And so this year, 2026, we support the Children's Action Alliance as they continue to weave the values we share of care and compassion for our youngest and most vulnerable and their families into the fabric of our world. So after the service concludes, we invite you to make a donation in the woven basket right outside those doors. It's next to the wooden bowl. Whatever you give, all that you can give, is deeply appreciated and gratefully received. So, I'm going to break stuff.
I don't know if you know, but hymn texts and hymn tunes are two very different things. Used to be hymn texts would be published in one book and hymn tunes would be published in another. So that's why when you look at the hymn page, on the bottom of the page, first at the top of the page is the text, that's the text title. At the bottom of the page, there's a tune title. Like, for example, the words Amazing Grace are just the words. The tune y'all call Amazing Grace is actually, the name is New Britain. This one, Our World is One World, What Touches One Affects Us All. Hymn first published in 1988, according to the text down here. Its tune name is Chernobyl. I have no idea why, but that's the title that the editor-arranger, Richard Graves, gave to this tune. The text, What Touches One Affects Us All, I think is an important message for our time. Would you rise and sing? Number 134 in the gray book. You're always welcome to grab a book if you wish, or as always, the words will be on the screen. Our world is one world. What touches one affects us all.
Song of the World, inspired by Reverend Manish Mishra Marzetti. Our world is one world, and what touches one affects us all. Listen carefully. Can you still hear the song? The one sung for you when you were born. The song sung by a world in motion, rejoicing at your life. You, the result. You, the outcome. You, the celebration. Listen carefully. Can you hear it still? A song of possibility, a reminder that we still have time to be who and what we need to be. Listen carefully. The vast expanse echoes a recognition that it's not always easy. Possibilities can be hard to pursue. Roads not taken, wrong turns, destinations that disappoint. Through this, the song persists. The world sings no less because time and space wear us thin. The music calls us to recognize our limitations, to recognize that the song is best sung with others. Here in community, bringing alive that most primordial and original impulse, the desire to sing to the world who we are, to celebrate and share our lives with others.
Good morning. I'm Ray Deeney, and I've been asked to introduce our guest speaker this morning, Joanne Jojo Bollinger. Michelle and I met, I'm not doing my job here. Michelle and I met Jojo on a trip we took to Baja California in Mexico in 2023, and she has become a dear friend ever since. Jojo lives part of the year in Auburn, Maine, part of the year in Eagle Harbor, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and she spends a large chunk of the year riding around our North American continent, United States, Canada, and starting later this week, Mexico, which I see is up here, kind of facing us up here. A good part of that balloon she covers. And the reason she does that is because after a long career as a singer and a music educator, she in 2013 discovered the passion for this part of her life, which she's going to tell us about, which is WISE Zambia. She is a co-chair of the board of WISE Zambia. She's been to Zambia 11 times, and later this year she'll be making that her 12th time. So it is my pleasure. Here's Jojo.
Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be here, and thank Ray and Michelle for this opportunity. I'm going to say one more thing before we begin the slideshow, and that is that I am going back to Zambia in May with 16 Bates College students, and we're going to be working on our implementing our new science lab and program and taking students from the U.S. out to remote villages, which should be an incredible learning experience. So let's begin. A small nonprofit making an outsized difference. Next. Our work is located in the western province of Zambia. If anybody knows what Zambia was before, if you're old enough, you may remember Northern Rhodesia. And it became a country, independent country in 1964. We are plopped right in the middle of the western province, and we serve remote communities. Next. And here is the town where we're located. That is the only paved street in the entire town, and it's the district center, and we spread out from there to all kinds of remote villages. Next. Why this matters. Look at those bright faces. They matter. Next. This work matters because children should not be out in the fields cutting thatch for the roofs. They should be in school. Next. This work matters because 15-year-old girls should not be carrying babies on their backs and carrying water for up to 2 miles. They should be in school. Next. This work matters because girls like Maria, who is deaf, need the chance to have an education as well. And in Zambia, that was never the case. disabilities were not, disabled children were not served. Next. And this work matters because boys like Humphrey, who had no parents, living in that hut with his grandmother, with no resources, they deserve a chance at education as well. Next. So here's WISE. Women's initiatives that strengthen and empower began in 2004 under the direction of Margaret on the left, not Lynn on the right. She started the nonprofit first after the Habitat for Humanity people came and worked with them to build homes. Lynn was part of that group, and she said, oh my goodness, Margaret started a nonprofit. We have to start one in the U.S. as well. And she is in Maine, and she's the person I heard about WISE from initially. Next. So our mission statement is up there. I can't quite read it, but I will let you read it yourselves. But what's important is that the local leadership are the people who create the policy, the programming, and the values that go with the program. And my work here is to raise visibility and funds as part of the board. Next. Pelekelo there in the center with the yellow shirt, at 8 years old, began school because she lived an hour from the river, which she had to cross in a dugout canoe, crocodiles in the river, and walk another 45 minutes to school. And it was her teacher who came to our director in Zambia and said, we have to find a way to serve these kids because tuition is required after 7th grade. These people have no resources. We have to start educating them. I met her when she was an 8th grader, and you're going to hear a little more about her as time goes on. Next. And there's Maggie in the white t-shirt. She is the executive director in Zambia. She is a visionary, and she is the one who creates all the policy and programming, and she works with a staff now of 5 people, and Mr. Michaela helps supervise 50 students of ours in 57 schools. Next. And just so you know, we received some great recognition from the Library of Congress back in 2023, and only 15 recipients worldwide, and we received it for our successful literacy practices, debate program, something similar to a bookmobile, creative writing program, and several other things that the education coordinator put together. And as a result, that was an incredible gift to us to receive that award. Next. So we focus on girls because there's a traditional attitude towards early marriage. Bride price paid out in the remote villages, even though it's illegal, it still happens. And 15-year-old girls can be married to 55-year-old men. So that is the primary reason, but also there is a traditional attitude that boys are more deserving of education than girls. So the focus is really on the girls. So her goal is 75% of the students in the program be girls. We don't always reach that goal because it is difficult to get the girls to take advantage of it, but typically now it's becoming easier. Next. So here is the growth of our program under Maggie's development through 2024. And you can see a swift rise beginning in 2021. And there's the gender ratio on the right. Next. Well, why did that growth happen? The new president back in 2022 said no more tuition for secondary school. So we could put more kids on the program because they needed all the supplies that we typically need when we go to school, and their parents or families could not provide that. So that is why we started jumping so quickly. Next. Just a bit about volunteering. Maggie requires that all students in secondary school volunteer. You've been given something, you need to give back. When they go off to college, typically after 1 year, gap year, the students who are capable of going on sign a contract that says, after 1 year of employment, I will give back 6% of my salary for 7 years. And I have talked to many of the students, and they all say, it's been a blessing to receive what I've received. I want to continue supporting those coming through. I want to keep the door open for them. There's Pelekelo. In her gap year, she was our intern, and she became less shy. She started tutoring, and then she went off to nursing school. Next. Well, we know what happened in 2024 when people started getting nervous about funds. Our funds sort of started declining, and we had to make a strategic decision. Maggie did it. She said, we have to reduce our intake of new students. Next. So there you can see it. We stopped taking in as many students, but we still had plenty, as you can see. But what's really important here is that helped us fulfill our promise to every one of our students who were capable of going on to college that they would be able to go. We were focused on that promise to them. So we had 151, I can't quite see it, 50, anyway, students graduate from high school. That's an extraordinary number last year, the highest number yet. So that was part of that growth. Next. And so here we are. I'm going to look up here because I can see it. I think the big piece here is that, well, there are several. One is that for the first time ever, we had more girls than boys in college education, which was tremendous. But also, the number of graduates we had totally by last year was 55. But look how many we're going to add this year, 37 more. That is extraordinary from a remote area that we serve. Next. So we decided several years ago that we had to provide enhanced educational opportunities. We started a campaign for a STEAM center, STEM plus arts. Next. And here it is. I was there. I took those pictures in July of 2024. Next. And here it is last August. And it is functioning now with a solar system on the roof, with a water harvesting program, and all of that was donated by one donor, the solar and the water harvesting, which is so important because there's a lengthy dry season. Next. The library in the STEAM Center and the computer lab and the science lab are all functioning. Next. And there is Pelekelo. She received her degree in nursing, magna cum laude, and she wants to become a public health nurse with a PhD. That's her goal. Think of that little girl. And there's Maria, the deaf girl. She received her certificate and wants to open a carpentry shop that has only disabled people employed in it. Next. And here's Brian. Brian came to us with nothing, no shoes, no blanket, no soap, nothing. He was sitting outside the high school classroom, learning outside because he had no money. He came on our program, and here he has graduated with the high honors, 5-year degree in telecommunications, and you can see what he said. When anyone tells my story, never forget to say that WISE Zambia brought me to where I am today. He's extraordinary. Next. And our impact. Just focus on the last one. More Pelekelos and Bryans every year. Think of that. Next. And I want to read you something, the rest of that quote from the New York Times. According to the New York Times, Africa is on track to become the greatest source of the world's future workers, innovators, and leaders. The children in our classrooms today in Zambia will help shape the future of our shared world, which is why investing in them now is more important than ever. 2 of our graduates now working for us. Next. So WISE envisions successful futures for Zambia's young people rather than a girl with a baby on her back. We have graduates of college. That's Maggie getting her bachelor's. She's now getting her master's online with ASU. Next. And here's my why. Every single one of those kids, with Maggie in the front, I knew when they came into school, and they've all graduated from college and are all working. And we have many more of those every year. Next. With Maggie, a leader like Maggie, such a visionary, the future is bright for Zambia's young people. And with Nelson Mandela's quote, I will close. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Next. Thank you. Thank you.
Joanne will be joining us after the service at our information connection table. We shall have much more literature available and be able to answer any of your questions about WISE Zambia.
I just want to add, I watched a movie on Rhodesia just the other night called Don't Go to the Dogs, and it was when Rhodesia was losing the power. So it's very interesting that you're here talking about this. Thank you.
We invite you now to a time of meditation.
Of breath and rest within this community.
Let us gather together not as individuals alone in despair, but as a people, each carrying stories of grief and joy, of fear and trust, of anger and justice, of powerlessness, and coming together to cause a new future through community.
Let us take a breath as your body needs, in and out. A breath made possible by generations before us, by lands and waters not of our own making, by people whose names we may never know, yet whose lives are woven into ours. All this included in this moment. We pause. We reimagine.
We pause because reimagining a better future too easily becomes imagining my future, or the future of those who look like me, or live like me, or believe like me. We pause because a future which includes only me excludes the world, and it's not worth another moment of our time.
In this shared silence, we make room for voices not present in this room, for bodies that have been pushed to the margins, for communities bearing the heaviest burdens of our world, for futures we will not live to see. Let this silence be wide enough to hold grief and anger, fear and confusion, and hope for the future that flickers like our chalice flame. A hope refuses to be extinguished.
Let the silence remind us that none of us must carry the whole weight alone, that reimagining is not a solitary act, but a communal one, born in listening, sustained in love. As we sit together, may we loosen our grip on certainty, soften our armor, and allow ourselves to imagine differently than we did yesterday.
May we feel, even now, what it is like to belong to something larger than ourselves, a faith, a people, a love that insists that all means all.
Let us rest in the quiet that becomes possible only when we commit to one another's flourishing.
Let us hold the silence that only we gathered in community, centered in love, can offer to one another.
We've chosen our purpose for our congregation, building an open-hearted, welcoming community where we work together in covenant to transform ourselves and our world through love. Building such a community, it's a support, it's a challenge, but it means that we welcome each and every heart as we are, wherever we are, each and every time we gather. So we are here today, and we recognize that some are worn raw by the cruelty and the brutality and the violence of our government. And we are here today recognizing that some bravely, boldly, courageously are inspired to action by our faith tradition. And we are here with thoughts and feelings and action everywhere in between. We remind one another that we are not alone. We remind one another that the world is beautiful. Tom Bunch did that for me this morning as I was greeting you all coming in. He just stopped. I said, "How are you?" And instead of answering how he was, he just turned and gestured to the blue sky and the air and the sunlight and the plants and the desert and the world. And so we come and we pour out water. Water collected from Sonoran skies, from the taps in our homes, from springs bubbling up from the earth. This is our congregation. And then we take up stones. Sometimes they get away from us. We take up stones which are strong enough and wise enough to hold all of our thoughts and feelings and our actions, and then we add them to the water. Engaging, loving, transforming. There are times when, with permission, we share what is happening with individuals, like this concern. We just got news this morning from Susan Calder that Vince went into the hospital on Friday with respiratory issues, and that last night he got worse. And so he is currently in the ICU on a ventilator. Sally Westron is with them, waiting for news from the doctors. So please keep Vince, keep Susan in your thoughts and your prayers. Kim Lauger writes us that Dylan, her son, had a lot of complications related to his charge syndrome and reintroduction of tube feedings that caused his first surgery last month to fail. Eventually, Dylan agreed to a second surgery, which was done on the 22nd, and he has been making steady progress recovering from that surgery, and we will hope that it will help him be better in the longer term. They all had hoped to go home tomorrow. They've been over at Banner Children's and other areas in Banner for some time, but they're still working on managing the fluid balance. We'd rather stay here than end up in the ER right away, she writes. It's been an emotional time, but with so many miracles along the way for Dylan and for Kim and their family. And I'm also glad to report that last Thursday, Debbie Roberts, president and chair of our board, underwent surgery to remove her gallbladder, and everything went as expected. She's at home resting and recuperating, and if I've come to know her correctly, she's already back at work on some project for our congregation. So we speak these when we're asked to. We share our lives this way, but we also recognize that there is so much among us here that is unnamed. So we gather many stones and then drop those into the waters as we engage and love and transform ourselves and our world together. So I invite you, fill these stones with your grief and your sorrow. May we engage and love and transform them to know more joy and more love. Fill these stones with your concerns, with your fears, so that we may, as a congregation, engage, love, and transform them to know and weave networks of trust. Fill these stones with your anger and your outrage. Yes, that is welcome here as well. So that together we, Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist congregation, may engage and love and transform them into a passion and action for justice. And these are for our confusion, our sense of powerlessness, our doubts. These stones are strong enough and wise enough to hold these as well. And this congregation is strong enough and wise enough to engage and love and transform them so that we create the foundation for a new future. Right here, right now. This is our purpose, our chosen purpose. This is why we're here. And this leads us to inclusion. We are led to this purpose by so many of our different leaders, acting and working hard, but also in our comfort and celebration by our pastoral care committee. We are listening to what is happening in your life, in your world, and in our world together, and we are leading MVUU to respond. Please reach out to us. Tell us what's happening. Give us the permission to share it, and we will on Sunday mornings. Any joy or concern or things in between that you want us to know so that we might ever work together towards that highest of aspirations of inclusion. May it be so.
Our next song we'll sing together is number 163 in the gray hymnal, For the Earth Forever Turning. Beautiful song about gratitude and joy. And it also ties a little into the last hymn we're going to sing today too. But 163, For the Earth Forever Turning, would you rise as you see fit and sing with us?
Sing we our joy.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Chris. This is not a battlefield. And by this, I don't mean the giant beach ball which resembles the planet. What I mean is our world is not a battlefield. I offer you this knowing full well that right now the U.S. government, through the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is abusing its power, terrorizing communities, abducting lawful residents, and killing citizens in the streets. I know that. And all this last week, I witnessed that the ICE operation was gearing up in the Phoenix area. I watched with a feeling of powerlessness as an Arizona-wide clergy chat named raids on businesses, and nearby clergy rushed to get their vestments and their symbols of faith to be present at those locations to bear witness to the brutality and the cruelty, and so our community can see the truth. One of the truths, then, emerging is that this is nothing new. For decades, the U.S. government, through policies and law enforcement agencies, has abused its power. It has terrorized communities of black and of brown people. It has abducted lawful residents, and it has killed citizens in the streets. You see, I know that too. And I know it's compelling. I know that hearing that the world is a battlefield becomes far more compelling, more convincing than a giant beach ball. And my anger and my grief and my fear and my feeling of utter powerlessness watching what is happening in Minnesota and the actions of my colleagues and friends here in our state and recalling our ongoing, seemingly unending history, I get it. I do. It feels like the fundamental nature of life on our planet is a battle simply to survive. And it's a good argument being made in many different areas, from the war on drugs, which we know originally was motivated by the Nixon administration to target black communities and liberals, to a war on culture, which says that liberal ideas corrupt children, that compassion is a weakness, and that empathy is a sin. It's all bait for us to believe that a war is already upon us and it is time to fight. But it's a trap. It's a trap that's set very, very carefully to convince you that you are alone, that more than just feeling powerless, that you have no power, no agency. Your only role in this life is to be a soldier in someone else's army. It is a reimagining of life, but not as inclusive, but as exclusive. It's a trap that betrays those unalienable rights our country was founded on, that all are created equal, entitled to life and to liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And I know the founders were more exclusive in their lives, but that's what they aspired to. The world is a battlefield, is a reimagining of life on our planet as violent and exclusive and for a privileged few. And it's wrong. It's wrong. The world is not a battlefield. The world is a beloved. Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for hundreds of miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. And meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. It calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. This is a beloved. It has welcomed you from your birth, rejoicing in your being, your nurturing and growth into something that has never existed before and never will again. Recognizing who you are and your place among all life. It wants you to live. It wants you to be free and to be happy. And we know it's not easy because we know what being a beloved means. It means to center love in your life. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes. We head down paths. We find dead ends. It means that we return to that center, to a love that is a transformative power, that engages grief and joy, fear and trust, anger and justice, powerlessness, and a power to create a future that overcomes injustice. The injustice we are now and we have been experiencing. It was the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who knew much more about these injustices than I will ever know, who said that the ultimate weakness of violence is that it is a descending spiral begetting the very thing it seeks to destroy. Instead of diminishing evil, it multiplies it. Through violence, you may murder the liar, but you cannot murder the lie, nor establish truth. Through violence, you may murder the hater, but you do not murder the hate. Returning violence for violence multiplies violence, adds deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness, he taught us, cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And that's no beach ball filled with air, hot air, or whatever this is inflated with. It's the truth. It's the truth that the world is a beloved that loves you and wants you to become and wants that for all of us. It's a truth that invests us to reimagine the future with love, not violence at the center. To reimagine our world where there is a struggle, but it's a struggle to get out of the trap. To shift us to the beloved, love-centered world where there is companionship and celebration and care for each and all. And yeah, this is just a big beach ball. But it's also our reminder that at our center, together in love, we have power. We have power. It isn't about the future when we look to the center of love and we see that clergy are gathering in Tucson to prepare. Bob and I with 24 other clergy to prepare for what's to come. That this congregation is hosting the Good Trouble Action Group's sessions for non-violent action. That our guest, Jojo, comes and brings us a message of global inclusion. That we gather, unlike other communities of faith, not facing forward, waiting for some truth to be given to us, but facing one another. Looking across a center of love to see each other. See each other. See each other. It's a privilege given to us when we stand up here, but it's a privilege we would share so that you can look across the circle, look across the center, and to view each other in love. You can wave. You can smile. You can make funny faces. And when we do, we realize that it's working. It is working. We can feel it working. We can feel it in our bodies. We can feel it rising up from our feet and empowering our actions. It's a struggle, and no one should tell you otherwise, but it's not a battlefield. It's a struggle always for us to love, to recenter ourselves in love, to build communities in love, and to invite others to join us. This is our purpose. This is our goal, and inclusion is our aspiration. May it be so today and in all that we do together. Amen. Caught you off guard?
No, I just didn't want to walk up and interrupt
Yeah,
what
right.
you were
Yeah,
saying.
thanks.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on. So
It's kind of nice having us this close, though. I kind of
Yeah.
feel like we've got we should talk more when we do this.
we certainly could. I mean, I've worked in churches where this is just the size of the narthex space. And so the minister stands here and the organist is way up in the back. It's also fun to play an instrument like that where you wiggle your fingers and then you sit and listen to the music because you're so far away from where the thing that actually produces the sound is. Beautiful message. How can we respond except by singing together number 1064, Peter Mayer's absolutely gorgeous song to celebrate the return of our globe, Blue Boat Home. Rise with us and sing.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor nor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, are we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. enfolding me. Hear the great winds urging me on. Breathe the infinite sea before me. Sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms. Never harbor nor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Before I go on, I want to thank you for a beautiful presentation this morning. It hit every button. Thank you so much. Okay. The future is happening. It is occurring in the small acts of justice every day and the big acts of solidarity when we show up for one another. I have to tell you that I am an ex-Minnesotan, born in St. Paul, living in Minneapolis. And I often wondered what all of that cold and all had done for me. And it strengthened me as it has strengthened all Minnesotans, able to go out and to do what they need to do and what we need to do. There's a phrase that says, never attack a winter, I may not get this right, but a winter population in the winter. And they made a big mistake by doing that. So I call on my Minnesota blood to get through all of this and to know that I have the strength and love to do that. We want to keep you informed of all that is happening here at MVUU so that you can join in engaging, loving, and transforming. And Reverend Matthew will fill you in.
I just want to begin by thanking our website task force. They have just completed a major report. It is going to our program council this next Saturday. That is Mike, Jim, and Jerry. It is far from a work of art because they did a lot of technical work with it, but it is pointing us in the right direction so that our website can be part of our public face and begin to bring people in to hear more deeply what our message is and step out into the world with us. I want to also announce that, as we regularly do, that our MVUU Grief Group meets on Sundays upstairs in our loft. It's facilitated by Terry and by Ann, who have done this work in other areas, but now bring it alive for us. It is not for just a single grief, it is for all grief, all loss. So please join them should you need our community in your grief. Please join us following the service for a time of fellowship and renewal. We think it's almost as important as what we do here in service. So please, outside those doors for refreshments and for renewing our community. Would you join us?
And now we are going to release the flame.
Would you, Ray? Can you just stand?
And it's Be About Work by Reverend Andrea Hawkins Camper. May we see all as it is, and may it all be as we see it. May we be the ones to make it as it should be, for if not us, who? And if not now, when? This is answering the cry of justice and the work of peace. This redeeming the pain of history with the grace of wisdom. This is the work we are called to do. And this is the call we answer now. To be the barrier and the bridge. To be the living embodiment of our principles. To be about the work of building the beloved community. To be people of intention and a people of conscience. And so it is.
Go out to reimagine. Reimagine a world centered not in the battlefield, but in love. All that you know of love, everything you know of love, and not just to reimagine silently, but with your voices and your actions and all that you do. Go and be love.
You this morning with a song, a piece of celebration, tuned by Flora Jagoda, who you'll know because she also wrote a little thing called Ocho Candelicas, which we just sang a whole bunch of times last month. Or month before now, I guess, since it's the first. The hostess awaits us with 15 platters of fruit. Come, let us sing. Come, let us dance. The hostess awaits us with baklava and coffee. It's a dance. She's Bosnian born. It's a dance, therefore it's in 7/8. If you know the dance, feel free to get up and dance it. Hamisha Asar. A dance for Tu B'Shavat.